Let me just hit record first, and I'll tell you when you can start. 1 second. All right, take it away, Potato.
Angelica, part-time monster hunter. Monster Hunter. Pilot. Written by Michael Lichand. Act 1. Exterior. Desert. Night. A lone campfire burns in the shadow of a large orange rock. Old West men with graying mustaches and leather boots form a line in front of the fire, towards a hill to the east. They ready their rifles. California, 1867. A man with a wide brim hat looks down. The ground rumbles.
They're coming!
An old man wearing white robes steps out from behind the rock. He's holding a leather-bound book.
Hold steady, man. We cannot fail.
A swarm of black dots start coming over the hill. They're monsters. Grotesque creatures, some with 8 legs, some with no legs, but all of them look hungry.
Al elevatum parasecum.
A brief silence. The two forces clash. Bang! One of the men is hurled to the side by a dog made up of other dogs. Another one is turned to ash by a swarm of sentient rocks. A flying rat snake grabs one of the men. From the skies, he sees the entire battlefield. It's not a battle, it's total carnage. The monsters lay waste to the humans. Still standing, the old man raises his hand. A creature made up of shadows starts moving towards him.
Veum tropi is Khan Morstan.
Green storm clouds gather above him. With a deadly smile, the shadow lunges forward.
Morstan un viscusa.
Krakow! A green lightning bolt comes down and hits the shadow. It roars in pain as it's dragged into the large orange rock before being sucked in with a loud pop.
It worked!
A loud cheer comes from the humans as more bolts descend from the green sky. The large orange rock changes, chunks of it flying off with each defeated monster, until... Match cut to exterior, Rocky Boy Public School, day. It is now a rock statue that somewhat resembles a chubby boy. The desert is gone, and in its place is a small town. Roads, stores, the occasional tall building, all of it built around the statue in its courtyard. And right behind is the imposing Rocky Boy Public School. Rocky Boy, California, 2017.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Angelica Bloch, 13, shoulder-length ginger hair, runs through the courtyard carrying way too many yellow folders and leaving behind a trail of Polaroid pictures.
Hey, Angie.
Angelica turns around and sees Jeremy Kuros, 13, Japanese-American, wearing clothes from the 60s, holding one of the pictures up.
You dropped something.
Jeremy, thank you so much.
She drags her stuff all the way down, collecting the Polaroids, all of them blurry pictures of monsters.
Are those for tomorrow's article?
Yep, the latest in my The Monsters of Rocky Boy series. I'm calling it The Shark Man.
But aren't we in a desert town?
That's what makes it even more cool.
Jeremy gets a look of glee in his face as Angelica shoves everything inside one worn-down #1 monster fan bag.
Then how about a different headline? The Shark Man swimming in the sand.
He starts mimicking a shark swimming in the sand. It looks more like a hamster asking for water.
What do you think?
Jeremy, you're the editor. If you want to change a headline, just do it.
No can do, Angie. I'm a collaborative editor. Just like my mother always said, Jeremy, you can't go out looking like that. It's not 1963. To which I say, well, Mom, that's not a very primo way to think.
A beat. Angelica and Jeremy just look at each other.
Do you want some help with that?
Yes, please.
As the two drag the now super heavy bag into the school, we pan up to the Rocky Boy statue and a small glowing green crack forming on its forehead. Interior, corridors, day. Angelica's standing in front of her locker trying to put her bag inside. Jeremy, by her side, holding her notebook and a few yellow folders.
Uh-oh.
He points at the end of the corridor.
Vince alert.
Coming down the way is Vince, 15, wearing clothes one size too big and sporting the douchiest smile in the world. He pushes every student out of his way as he's followed by a group of lackeys, all 15, who sneer and even growl at the students.
Oh no, not Vince.
Angelica shuts the locker and starts walking away from the bully.
He's been looking for me ever since I published that article about the monster that eats bullies.
Come on, Angie. Aren't you being a bit paranoid?
Vince stops, sees Angelica, and grins.
Well, well. If it isn't Angelica, the monster hunter.
Angelica glares at Jeremy.
Then again, paranoia is a totally valid defense mechanism.
As the bully and his friend stomp down the corridor, Angelica tries to smile and wave back at him.
Hi, Vince.
And you're hanging around with your weird friend, too? Do nerds just walk around in pairs?
For your information.
Angelica interrupts him, still trying to avoid eye contact with Vince.
Yeah, very funny, Vince. We're nerds. You're not. Can we go now?
They turn around and almost walk into the lackeys. The blonde one growls at them.
Not yet.
Vince plucks the folder from Jeremy's hand and leaps through it.
Hey, give me that.
Jeremy tries to grab the folder back, but Vince pushes him away with one hand.
Look at this, guys. It's another one of Angelica's dumb little monster collections.
They all laugh as Vince starts throwing the pictures around.
Look at this. Evil trees.
This one is a shark man.
What in the world are musicales?
They're little monsters that feed off music and.
I'll tell you what they are. Crazy talk. You're Crazy.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You and your crazy mom. And you know what the worst part is? The only customers my dad gets these days are weirdo tourists who believe in made-up fairy tales.
They're not made up.
Vince glowers at Angelica and holds the picture of the shark man up to her nose.
Oh, really? Then how come nobody's ever seen these monsters? Where is your proof, huh? Huh?
There is a pregnant pause as Vince waits for a response, but he gets none. The bell rings. All the students watching the little fight disperse.
Go back to your crazy mom, Angelica.
Vince throws the pictures on the ground and his lackeys follow suit. They all leave. And the only one left standing in the corridor is Angelica, still looking down at the ground. Jeremy walks up to her, frowning.
Here, let me help you.
He gets down and starts collecting the pictures, and off Angelica's dejected and defeated look. Interior, classroom, day. Angelica in her seat by the window, ignoring the filled-up classroom. Jeremy sits beside her. He looks up at Angelica and is about to say something, but her gloominess makes him reconsider.
Students?
All the children get quiet and sit up when Miss Peterson, 60s, yet looks like she came packaged with the school, walks in.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning, Miss Peterson.
She smiles, satisfied.
Today I have the pleasure of introducing a new student to all of you. Miss Stanton?
The student's eyes go to the side door as in walks Saya Stanton, 14, African American, clutching her notebook and sporting an emotionless face.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet Saya Stanton. She's a recent transfer, and I expect all of you to treat her with the utmost respect.
All the students look at Saya. She just looks back.
Please take your seat by Miss Bloke.
Saya goes to her seat behind Angelica and quietly sits down in the most proper of positions.
Very well. Now back to Shakespeare.
As Miss Peterson gets to her class, Jeremy leans closer to Angelica.
Hey,
Hey,
you're not still down about Vince, are you?
maybe.
Angie, I don't know why you let that guy run all over you. Your material's Socko. Your writing's boss. You need to fight back.
My mom fought back and now they won't even let her into the supermarket.
Jeremy sinks a little into his seat as Saya raises an eyebrow.
It's not worth it, Jeremy. These guys, they'd rather live in the boring Rocky Boy than the cool Rocky Boy that my mom taught me about.
And you're just going to let them badmouth you for the rest of their lives?
Eventually they're gonna give up. I just gotta wait. No use in fighting back.
The two return to their studies as Saya smiles to herself. Interior classroom, later. Another ring from the bell. The students start clearing out of the class.
I'll get you a seat at study hall, Angie.
Angelica waves to Jeremy as she collects her belongings, but when she turns around to leave, she bumps right into Saya.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
She holds out her hand. Saya looks at it like Angelica just offended her mother.
No, thank you.
Angelica retracts her hand, confused.
Miss Block, I have it on good authority that you know everything about everyone in this school, right?
Depends.
Depends.
If you want to find out more about the popular kids, then you're out of luck. I'm good with the weird kids.
The weird kids?
Yeah, like me. Though, by the looks of it, we're not really your crowd, so.
She tries to leave, but Saya stands in her way.
Rest assured, you are very much my crowd. Could you tell me everything you know about these weirdos?
What? No. I have homework to do, and.
Angelica tries to walk past Saya, but she steps in front of her.
I think I misspoke. It wasn't my intention to make it seem like you had an option. I apologize for that.
She grabs Angelica by the shoulder, smiling.
Let's begin.
Interior, school corridor, day. Montage. Saya and Angelica are watching various students from afar. The first one is Tatiana, 13, who won't let go of her mobile gaming device.
That's Tatiana. I don't think I've ever seen her take her eyes off that thing.
Too technologically advanced. Next.
Lucas, 13, who is talking to a few girls whilst carrying a large glass of grape juice like it's fine wine.
That's Lucas. He's kind of a snob.
Clearly, the best seasons of Happy Pony Adventures are the ones from 1982.
I have no idea what that means, and neither does he. Next.
Vincent lackeys who are snarling at a poor innocent student.
These guys? Why these guys?
Excessively angry behavior can also be considered weird. Who's their leader?
That's Vince. He's a jerk.
The blonde lackey steps forward and does a pitch-perfect snarl. Vince glares at him.
Never over snarl me.
Fascinating. Next.
Interior, corridor, day. Angelica is on the floor, exhausted, fanning herself with one of her folders. Saya, on the other hand, looks just fine.
We don't have time to rest.
All right, stop.
Angelica points at Saya.
I'm doing you a favor. The least you can do is be a bit thankful for it.
That would be a waste of my time.
Angelica's about to say something, but she quickly gives up and puts her stuff on the ground.
I don't know what your deal is, but I'm done with you, and I'm.
Saya's eyes widen as she sees the pictures of the shark man slipping out of the folder.
I'm going to leave now.
Angelica picks up her stuff, stands up, and is about to leave when suddenly Saya steps in front of her.
Those images, give them to me.
Excuse me?
I need those pictures, and you don't, so stop being an obstacle and give me those pictures, girl.
Angelica stares right into Saya's eyes, her grip on the folder growing tighter.
Make me.
Saya tries pushing Angelica away with her other hand, but the girl holds on tight. The two girls engage in a tug-of-war with the folder.
Let go!
The folder rips in two, and the pictures fall all over the floor.
No, 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 no.
Angelica gets down and grabs the pictures.
These are my mom's. I can't crumple them. I can't damage them. This is my mom's entire life work. And you can't do this to me.
She looks up at Saya and freezes. Saya's eyes are now a glowing green. Two white horns have sprouted out of her hair, and on her hand is a green jewel, also glowing.
You forced me to do this, human.
Angelica stands up, trembling. She can't move. She's not even sure if she should move.
El vatum para secum.
Green energy starts swirling around Angelica.
Perhaps a few hours in a dimension of pure nothing will teach you some manners.
Angelica stares at Saya for a beat before grabbing her hand and covering the jewel.
What? What are you doing?
The green energy now swirls around them both,
I don't know.
and with a loud pop, they disappear. End of Act 1. Act 2. Exterior, the desert, day. A strong wind blows Angelica's hair all around. She struggles to open her eyes.
Angelica. Angelica.
Mom?
As she does open her eyes, she sees an angry Saya glaring at her.
Angelica Block, you insane human, wake up!
And then she looks down. It's the ground, coming at them faster and faster. They're in the middle of the desert and there's nothing for miles and miles. Nothing to soften their fall.
How did we get here?
I opened a portal. I tried to open a portal, but then you interrupted my procedure, so the portal backfired, and now we're here.
You were about to curse me?
Not curse you, open a portal around you. Are you even listening?
We're falling. Oh my gosh, we're falling.
Yes, you got it. Now help me find my jewel.
Saya turns around, swimming in the air like it's nothing. Angelica, on the other hand, keeps fumbling around until she sees something glowing in the air. It's the jewel. She flaps her arms up and down and grabs the jewel, holding it in her hand.
I got it.
Saya starts swimming back, but Angelica looks at the jewel, then at Saya. She points it at the ground.
Al el vatum para mecum?
A blast of green energy flies off Angelica's hand, blowing her back.
What are you doing?
I was trying to imitate you.
Don't! That's the explosion spell.
What?
She looks down again and notices her blast hitting the ground. It creates a massive explosion.
Hold on!
Saya grabs the jewel and wraps an arm around Angelica as the human screams her ears out. Exterior, the jelly dimension. Jelly. Endless, formless, pure orange jelly as far as the eye can see. Pop! And with the speed of 2 bullets, Angelica and Saya appear inside the endless jelly.
Is it over?
No. Unfortunately.
Angelica opens her eyes, looking around. She gasps and gawks at the jelly surrounding her.
Where are we?
Dimension 82, or as we like to call it, the gelatinous Dominicus.
Saya groans, trying to move her hand, but the jelly is too strong.
I hate this place.
Are you kidding me? This is amazing! It's a place made entirely out of jelly!
Yes, that's precisely the problem.
Don't tell me. You don't like jelly?
Does anyone? Gelatinous are capable of digesting your body in a few seconds. It's the 8th worst way to die in the entire universe.
You just got to try a different flavor. Wait, what?
From afar, we hear a loud screech. Hundreds of tiny floating mouths start munching their way towards the two girls. Angelica tries to move, but fails to.
So now she starts freaking out.
We're about to be eaten by jelly!
What is it with you humans and asserting the obvious?
I can't believe it. I'm about to be eaten by jelly. Of all things, why did it have to be jelly?
Don't be like that. You could die thanks to a stupid human girl who feels like ruining your plans.
How would that ever happen to me? Ah, haha, very funny.
The gelatinous come closer and closer.
Wait a second. They can move? Why can't we?
Is that really going to be your final thought?
Angelica grins.
They're clearing the space ahead of them with their mouths. They're like mole men or just moles.
She takes a deep breath and starts eating away at the jelly, moving her hands in a swimming motion. Slowly, she starts to move. Saya looks at her with disgust, but when she notices Angelica's progress, said disgust morphs into surprise.
Not bad.
Angelica grabs her by the hand, dragging her away from the gelatinous monsters. Saya holds the jewel in her hand. Interior, prison courtyard, night. An open prison space made out of purplish stone, lit by a double red moon. Pop! Angelica and Saya stumble out, covered in jelly.
That was disgusting.
Amazing!
Angelica stands up as Saya brushes the jelly away from her clothes.
We were falling and then we were in jelly and you have horns and oh my gosh, I haven't felt like this since my first monster stakeout with my mom.
Slightly hyperventilating, Angelica stops when she notices the odd location they're in. It's not just a prison courtyard, with guard lookouts towering above them. It's also completely destroyed. Giant holes have been left behind in the walls. Burn marks are littered across the ground. One of the guard towers has been toppled.
What is this place?
This is my home.
Saya, horns and all, stands in front of the light of the red moons.
I am Saya Tan, Cognar et Mutkem, or, in your human tongue, Princess of all monsters.
In this brief moment of realization, Angelica can't speak. Tears start welling up in Angelica's eyes. She starts jumping around, cheering.
Why are you celebrating? Did you forget that you're in this mess because I was about to send you into another dimension?
That's even more awesome.
She runs up to Saya and hugs her. Saya pushes her away.
Stop it. You're way too happy. Your entire conception of the universe has just been shattered.
Saya, you're proof my mom was right all this time. How could I not be happy? Oh my gosh. I need to tell her. She'll freak out.
Before Angelica can grab her phone, Saya holds her at arm's length.
No, Angelica Bluck, you cannot tell anyone about my existence.
What? Why not?
Because if the wrong person finds out, your town will be destroyed.
Angelica takes this in, her eyes widening.
Rocky boy? Why?
150 years ago, your town was the only connection between my dimension and yours. That bridge has opened once again.
Saya motions to the prison around them.
This prison held the most evil monsters in the universe, and now they're on your side of the bridge. It's my job to hunt them down, starting with your friend Vince.
Angelica stops nodding.
Vince, why?
He's what we call a yotan, a spirit of an animal incarnate. They like to walk in packs, sniff around, snarl at people, great at hiding in plain sight.
And we're gonna go trap him now?
Saya stops and raises an eyebrow.
What? No, you're going back home.
What? I thought you wanted my help.
The two stare at each other. Saya looks, thinks, and then laughs.
You think you're gonna help me? You're a weakling. We're gonna be facing monsters much more fearful than the gelatinous. I can't have a girl who can't stand up to a bully by my side. Too much trouble.
Angelica stumbles back, digesting Saya's assessment, as the horned girl conjures up two green portals.
Then why did you tell all of that to me?
Saya stops and barely glances back at Angelica.
There was a time I was like you, looking for answers, for proof of my convictions. Well, you saved my life, so I'm giving you that.
If you were like me once, then you know I can't let you go.
Then would you be ready to face monsters who wouldn't flinch at the thought of ending the life of everyone in your beloved town?
Angelica doesn't respond. Saya nods.
That is what I thought. Angelica Block, this is not your place. Go home. Goodbye.
Without a single look back, Saya jumps through the portal on the right, leaving Angelica all by herself in the prison. Angelica walks towards the portal on the left, her portal. She stops just as her fingers barely touch it.
Oh, really? Then how come nobody's ever seen these monsters? Where is your proof?
He flinches.
Crazy talk from you and your mother. You and your mother. You and your mother.
Exterior, Rocky Boy Mountains, night. A tiny Angelica, about 6 years old, stands alone in the woods, wearing camper gear. She holds an old camera, and she looks down at her mother, Carol Block, 42, sleeping with a sorrowful face like she always does.
Please don't go, Randall. Please.
Off Carol's haunted visage. Fade to, interior, the prison courtyard, night. A similarly haunted look on Angelica's face, but she takes a deep breath and her look changes from fear to determination.
No more sleepless nights.
She turns to the other portal.
No more hiding from the neighbors.
She walks towards it.
No more dealing with the giggles and the jokes and the snarling.
The final word makes her stop, snarling. Montage, flashback. Vince shoving people out of his way and blonde lackey snarling at them. Vince yelling at weaker students and the blonde lackey growling at them. Vince growling at students and the blonde lackey leading the real pack.
A spirit of an animal incarnate. They like to walk in packs, sniff around, snarl at people, great at hiding in plain sight.
Interior, the prison courtyard, continuous.
Oh no!
End of Act 2. Act 3. Exterior, Rocky Boy Public Park, dusk. The sun sets on a small park. Birds enjoy an empty bench until Vince is thrown against it. Signs of a fight all over his shirt.
This isn't over, new kid.
He stands up, cracking his knuckles, and we see his opponent, Saya, back in her human form.
You know we have a name for this park, right? We call it Kick Butt. It's named after an old legend that says, "Ah!"
He tries to bum rush Saya. She sidesteps him with ease. Vince's lackeys watch from afar. Two of them are cheering him on. The blonde lackey is just watching.
Why won't you stand still?
Isn't it obvious? I don't want to get hit.
Vince tries to punch her once, twice, but on the third try, she catches his fist.
I'm asking because I don't think it would be fair to fight against someone who doesn't understand the basics of combat. You know you're supposed to hit me, right?
She baps him on the head, kicks him on the shin, and sends him stumbling forward. Somehow, Vince turns around and gets back on his feet.
You think you're gonna get away with this? You think you're gonna win against the big V himself?
Yes, I do. For Yotan, you're exceptionally dumb.
Vince looks lost. He glances at his lackeys behind Saya. Two of them shrug. The third one glowers, his eyes now shining in ethereal blue.
You what now?
Saya!
Angelica comes running out of the woods, waving her arms around.
Angelica? What are you?
It's not Vince! It's not Vince!
Be quiet. You're interrupting.
No, listen to me, Saya. It's not Vince.
She grabs Saya by the shoulders, just as the blonde lackey starts growing.
They hide in plain sight. In plain sight. Why would the Yotan draw attention to themselves by bullying everyone in school?
Angelica, get out of my way.
Then I thought maybe that's the trick.
Suddenly, the blonde lackey starts gaining animalistic features, prompting Vince to sputter like a broken car. His other lackeys run away in fear.
Vince is so loud that no one would notice if the Yotan hit.
Saya notices Vince's look, looks over Angelica.
As one of his friends.
As one of his. Yeah, that. How did you figure it out?
Angelica turns around and sees the monster. Grinning sharp teeth, huge claws, scaly half-blue, half-gray body, overall twice as big as them. In other words,
The Shark Man!
Hello, princess.
the shark man takes one step forward and lets out a roar so powerful it shakes the trees around him. Saya and Angelica exchange a look and start running in the other direction, past a frozen Vince.
Great! Death by Yotan, the sixth worst way to die in the universe.
The shark man stomps after them. Still big, still a menace.
What's wrong, princess? Don't like a taste of your own medicine?
He roars again, and the two dive into the woods, trying to hide in the darkness. They land in a ditch and wait for the stomping to trail off.
Think of a plan, think of a plan.
You didn't have a plan?
Yeah, I did, but just like before, you ruined it.
Okay, that sucks. But listen, I think I have a plan.
You think.
It's a sort of plan.
Fantastic! A sort of plan from the woman that should have sort of followed my advice and gone home.
I couldn't, Saya. You are the proof that Rocky Boy is not so dumb, is not some dumb tourist attraction, but the most important town in all of history. Like I think it is.
I guess I'll die happy knowing that I satisfied your ego.
It's not just about my ego.
Oh, joy!
It's not about paying back to the. It's about paying back to the woman who made me see the beauty in this town.
No acidic response from Saya. Angelica smiles.
You said you were like me once. Then you know that I'm not just standing up for what I believe in. I'm standing up for all the people who believe in me.
Angelica holds her hand out.
Why should I trust someone who's never fought before?
I don't know. I'm guessing for the same reason why you left your portal open.
Saya sighs, but a loud and high-pitched yell cuts their moment short.
Vince!
Exterior, Rocky Boy Public Park, later. As the shark man is now going after Vince, who is trying to crawl away.
Please, someone, help me.
What's the matter, Big V? Lost all your courage?
He grabs Vince by the back of his shirt, grinning.
Not a loss. Humans taste better when they're scared.
Dude, please. Think of all the good times of our friendship.
Friendship? Don't make me laugh. I hated playing second fiddle to an idiot like you. To think of all the times I had to act like I looked up to you makes me want to.
Hey,
They both turn to see Saya standing in the moonlight.
looking for me?
Ah, Princess. So nice to see you again.
The shark man leaves Vince hanging on a tree by his shirt.
I wish I could say the same, Yotan.
Yotan? What a distasteful name. Do you know that I go by Adrian in this world?
Adrian? Oh, I thought your name was Peter.
Having to deal with humans like him? Oh, what a torture. Just like my time with you, isn't it, Princess?
Saya trembles a little. She clenches her fist.
Be quiet.
Oh, interesting. Does your human friend know about that?
I said, be quiet.
Does she know about all the crimes you committed, Princess?
The shark man leans forward, grinning ear to ear.
Does she know about your sins?
Saya yells in rage, running towards the shark man. The horned girl tries to deliver an uppercut, but the shark man grabs her fist and throws her to the ground. He tries to slash at her, but she rolls to the side, getting back up. He slashes again. She dodges him once, twice, 3 times. No, the shark man gets her.
Nah!
Saya hits the ground with a painful thud, a nasty gash on her leg. She tries to get back up. The shark man's playing with his prey now. He stalks her, even as she tries to limp away faster.
Yes, Princess, run. I want to see you squirm like the good little worm you are.
Panting, Saya turns around and glares up at him, putting up her fists for a fight. Saya goes for a punch, but the shark man hits Saya first. She lands on the stone floor, crying in pain. Before she gets back up, the shark man stands on her legs with one foot.
I need you to see just how much you failed.
He reaches for Vince, who starts kicking and screaming to no avail.
I wonder what fools taste like. Shall we find out, Vince?
The shark man opens his mouth. Vince is already crying.
Hey, you!
He stops, and once again, both he and Vince look over at Angelica, right behind them, jewel in hand.
You mess with one of us, you mess with my city, and nobody messes with my city.
She holds the jewel up.
Al elvatum paranmecum.
The green energy blast leaves her hand, buzzing past the destruction at the park and hitting the shark man right in the face. He roars in pain, stumbling back and letting Vince go. The bully doesn't waste much time crawling away.
Saya!
Angelica throws the jewel at her. Legs trembling, she stands up, grabs the jewel, and points it at the shark man.
Al el muktum keva akum.
Green energy, smoke, and krakoom! A lightning bolt shoots out, hitting the shark man. He's lifted into the air, his body covered in the green energy. With a painful yell, he's dragged through the sky and right into the Rocky Boy statue. Silence reigns over the park once again.
It worked! It worked! I mean, of course it worked.
She runs over to Saya, helping her stay up on her feet.
Are you all right?
I can't believe it. Your plan worked.
Well, it would have worked better if you hadn't attacked him, which wasn't part of our plan.
Angelica notices Saya is glaring at her.
But it worked anyway, and that's the part we should focus on. That and the whole I just saved Vince and he probably owes his life to me part. I am totally using the Sharkman excuse next time we see each other.
Saya stands up weakly, and her jewel sinks back into her hand.
Maybe I underestimated you, Angelica Block.
Hmm.
You displayed quick thinking when we were facing the
Jelly monsters.
gelatinous, and attacking a creature as fierce as that Yotan, that takes courage. Or stupidity. I can't tell. Aren't sharks a feared animal in your world?
Yes, but then again, that guy had claws and roared, and I'm pretty sure sharks don't do that.
Saya starts walking away.
Wait, does this mean we can be partners? Angelica and Saya, kicking monster butts, saving Rocky Boy one day at a time. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
The two look at each other in silence.
Also, if I gotta be honest, your portal power is super convenient, and I could really use the extra half hour of sleep.
For the first time, Saya chuckles at her joke, and Angelica grins at her chuckle.
Maybe partners.
Angelica is about to jump up and down cheering when Saya raises her fingers.
I said maybe.
She starts limping away, grumbling to herself.
A maybe is halfway to a yes.
Angelica follows her and holds out her arm for support. Saya stares at it for a while before taking it.
You still have a lot to learn when it comes to finding monsters.
And I bet you're going to need some help when it comes to our school subjects.
Not really. I assume your school also teaches children how to tie a noose around a germ spawn, right?
Boy, I wish. We deal with things like math and physics.
What's math?
Upbeat.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
As the two walk out of the public park, we pan up to see the rest of the town.
Welcome to Rocky Boy, Sayatan. I think you'll fit just fine.
End of episode.
Woohoo!
All right. Good job.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So that was Angelica, part-time monster hunter, which was from one of our members, which is great. Actually, I forget how to say his name now. Stradifarius. Just started typing, so I was able to see. Thank you so much, Stradifarius, for submitting this script. And everybody, you did an awesome job reading. Let's get started with feedback. Kat, what were your thoughts on the script?
Hello. I really, really liked it. I thought it was great fun. I really didn't make many notes for that reason. So thank you so much for submitting it. It was great. The one note that I did make that I feel quite strongly about is that I think it should be live action. I feel like this could be like a Nick type teen coming of age sort of like sort of Buffy for preteens kind of thing. I think it would work really well as live action. I probably wouldn't watch this if it was animation, but I probably would watch it if it was live action. But other people might disagree. Not really Disney Channel, because Disney Channel's gone very preschool with their preteen stuff. Like even I can't watch it, and I have quite a high tolerance for stuff like that. More like Nick than Disney, unless things have changed since I was a kid, which they probably have. The only other notes that I made, I really like the page 22 where you did the throwing him into a bench and disturbing what was previously a peaceful scene. I like that whole contrast between the sort of birds tweeting as the sun sets on the park and then somebody just getting thrown into it. That was great. And I really like the Adrian, I thought your name was Peter joke. Like that just made me laugh. And that's all I really made notes on, because I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I don't have any criticisms or critiques. So yeah, keep writing it.
Cool.
Bring us more. I want more.
Yes, more. Okay, thanks, Kat. Paul, what were your thoughts?
Hello. Yes, thank you, Michelle Lachand, I think is the pronunciation, but there we are. Yes, thanks very much. It was a lot of fun. I agree with Kat entirely. I could not picture it animated. I actually, as I was reading it, I was picturing it live action. And I don't know whether that's just the way it's written. I'm not sure with the dialogue and whatnot. But I certainly felt like it worked for me as live action. I liked the jokes. I thought they were very funny. I would like more of them. And yeah, it was good. A couple of typos and bits and bobs here and there, so I would take a look at those. That you had an on instead of an in, and there was like full stops missing, that kind of thing. But just, and I also loved Metadoggo. Metadoggo is my favorite. So yes, thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks, Paul. Next, E.L. Drayton, what were your thoughts on the script?
I thought it was hilarious. I hope I played 13 well. I've never played a 13-year-old before. It was really good. Thank you so much for letting us read it. The only thing that I found a bit jarring was how quickly Angelica just went with Saya in the very beginning. Like she said, tell me more about the nerds, and then she kind of took her around and had her explain all of that. I feel like it just happened a bit too soon when they first met. It was almost like, hi, tell me about the nerds, and then she went and did it. And I don't remember what it was when I was 13, but I feel like there should have been a little more conversation there between the two of them, especially with Saya maybe trying to coax her into doing it, because it seemed a bit of an odd, like you were trying to get to it quickly. And so a little bit of that kind of building of a friendship or any kind of relationship between Saya and Angelica kind of came to me a bit too rushed. But otherwise, I thought you wrote her very well. Her lines were really good. I loved them. I thought it was really, really funny. So, thanks. And write some more.
Cool. Thank you very much. Kelly, what were your thoughts on the script?
I really enjoyed it. I think it was one of the more fun ones that I've read, and I can see this either as animated or live action, and in that it would be more on the order of something that would be on Cartoon Network or Disney XD, because Disney XD has Gravity Falls, which is really not a kid's cartoon. I think if this were to be done something like on Nick, it would have to be played more broader, written more broadly as a comedy. Because but I could see this as but I really enjoyed this. I think it's well written. I think there might be a little bit more not verbal exposition, but visual exposition, to agree with the whole thing regarding the first encounter between Saya and Angelica. And I think that it's there, just needs to be, again, this would be a director's decision about how to get Angelica to agree reluctantly to deal with Saya, because you just have her being bullied. You have, I think that it wouldn't be I think it's not a good idea to have Angelica, suddenly deal with two bullies. If that makes any sort of sense with it, but have a little pre-scene where Saya and Angelica, maybe in the classroom, get into some sort of, trouble for passing notes back and forth to each other. But so that would be I think it's a great script, and it will work either as an animated piece or as live action. So you've got something really good here.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I was putting in the chat that for me, I was like envisioning something as like a cross between Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Rick and Morty. And I love both those shows.
Oh my God, that would be like really awesome. Or even, I don't know if you guys ever watched Super Jail, something, that's just surreal.
Super Jail?
Oh yeah, Super Jail. It's part of Cartoon Network's, or it was part of Cartoon Network's Adult Swim. I could see this
Oh,
being part.
right.
I could see this as an Adult Swim as well.
Yeah, that's actually I wrote Adult Swim, so I haven't seen that particular show, but I've seen a lot of their animated shows. So I don't think that's what the writer is going for, but
I
it's
don't think
definitely an option.
yeah, I don't think so either. But there's the thing about working with this as an animated and even as live action is that the dialogue is adult. The action would need to be done to keep a kid's, and even a teenager's attention.
Absolutely. Let's move on now to Cheddar. What were your thoughts on the script?
I liked it. I thank you for submitting this script. I had a lot of fun with this script. And I don't really have anything bad to say about it. The one thing that made me go like, no, this should be different was when Angelica said something like, don't mess with my city. And I thought that it sounded strange that to say city because it felt more like a small town to me, Rocky Boy. So just if it's not a small town, for me, it almost doesn't work because it's like that's where all the weird stuff happens in small towns. But yeah, I really liked it. And I could see it as a cartoon or a live action, either way. And yeah, I want to know more about. Really, the one thing that I want to know more about is Rocky Boy and what kind of weird monsters are around, more than the characters. But I like the characters. Not that I don't like the characters, but more excited about the town. That's all I have to say.
What about the jelly? Cheddar, did you like the jelly?
Jelly. More jelly.
More jelly, more gelatinous. And I really want to see someone noose a germ spawn, I gotta say. Thank you so much, Ched. Moving on now to Potato. What were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it was a lot of fun to read, so there's that. I definitely agree that it would make a really fun kind of a live action show. A very Monster of the Week, even more kid friendly, eerie Indiana meets like a YA Doctor Who sort of vibe, you know?
Yeah, I know.
As far as like the characters went, they were fun and engaging. The dialogue was fun. I think there were some awkward moments in said dialogue that it probably could just be chalked up to some grammatical things. The pacing was pretty good, and overall, like I said, it was just an enjoyable read.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I think the writer really has something here, and I wish him all the best with it. Um, let's take a break, you guys. We're going to take 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do our next script, which is called The Trident.